What's up, course heroes? Welcome to yet another video. This is your boy Amit, and today we are going to write 584 blog posts using AI. So without further ado, let's get started. All right, so I'm in my WordPress site. This is a brand new blog. It's about ADHD. Shout out to my nephew who has it. So I thought, since I know a little bit about this topic, I would try and create a blog around it. This blog has, the likelihood of it ranking is very low because it's in a niche that's highly competitive, and it's considered one of those niches that's your money, your life kind of niche, right? So it's going to be challenging to rank this. However, this video isn't about ranking on the blog. This is to show you how to create content at scale using AI writers, using that to your advantage. And I would hope that when you do this, you're going to run every article through an editor and put your own flair onto it. I'm just going to show you how it's possible to do this. So this is a brand new blog. There's 0 articles written. So if I go to my posts here in WordPress, you'll see there's the standard canned Hello World post that's here. I'll put the link to the site in our description so you can check that site out. At the time of this recording, there's no blogs on here. What I'm going to do different is, instead of auto publishing 2 or 3 a day, I'm just going to bulk publish all 500 plus blog posts. Then I will connect my Rank Math account, and then I'll connect my Google Analytics account and see if Google would index them, instead of having Google index every single blog once it gets published. So this is a new tactic that I'm going to try. Now the tools that I'm going to use for this is, I've already shortlisted the articles that I want to write, and for that I used ChatGPT to get some articles, used Google Gemini and other free AI tools out there, and then I'm using Zimwriter to publish those blog posts directly onto my site. Now before we get to Zimwriter, let me show you the plugins that I have here. I have a table of content plugin, so this will auto insert the table of contents in there. I use Cadence, so I have all the Cadence Pro plugins. Then I also have Link Boss, which will help me with internal linking later on once all those articles are published. And like I said, I haven't activated Rank Math yet, but I will after all the blogs are published. And then I use ShortPixel for image optimization. I use simple local avatars so I can put an author image in there. And then I also have WP Fastest Cache. I have not used the SEO framework plugin, so this will be the first time I'm trying it, and I don't know if it's going to clash with Rank Math, so we'll see. WPS Hide Login helps me to hide my login URL so people aren't going to myblog.com/WP login to try to hack into the blog. So this is my tech stack of plugins that I typically work with. So there is actually one plugin I forgot to add, which is called Inline Related Posts. And this automatically adds related posts inline. So I'm going to add that as well. And I believe this is the one. So we'll add that final plugin. With that, we are going to head on over to Zimwriter to see how it works. I'll come back and activate this later. So for now, let's head on over to Zimwriter. Now I have all my articles that I want to write in this Excel file right here. So you can see here's about 583 articles. And in Zimwriter, I can use something called the bulk writer to write all these articles. So I'll go ahead and click on that bulk writer option here, and I can simply copy and paste those. You can see up here that you can have up to 1,000 articles inside of Zimwriter. So I'm going to go back to my Excel file, copy all 583 blog posts and paste them right here. Make sure that the title or the column header didn't come in. And now we're going to make some tweaks to these settings. And once we are done, we are off to the races, and we are actually going to be able to auto publish these blogs right onto my WordPress site. So that's one step that I forgot to do here. Let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to X out of here for a second and go back to my options menu. In my options menu, I'm going to set up WordPress, and here I need to put my WordPress site URL. So I'm going to copy and paste that in here. Now you don't need to put in the WP-login. You just put your main URL and your TLD with it, the top level domain. And then I'm going to also put in my WordPress username and password. So this is how Zimwriter connects to your WordPress blog. And I'm going to use this author here called Emma Clark. I'm going to go down here, get her username, put it into WordPress, and then the WordPress application password is going to be down here. I'm going to go and set up a new application password called Zimwriter, and I'm going to add this application password. It's a one-time password. You copy it and paste it into your Zimwriter, and then you're going to save this as a new config. Now Zimwriter gives you a success message saying that a test blog has been created, and that's how you know that the connection has been established between Zimwriter and WordPress. So before we move any further, let's go ahead and check those connection. All right, here's that test post, and if I preview it, you'll see that the test post was created. We are good to go. We can now go back into Zimwriter and start writing our blogs. So I'm going to go back into Zimwriter. Now that we have our WordPress connected, I can go back and then again make sure there's no header. And then from here, I'm going to start using some of these settings. First one is how many H2s would I want for each of these blog posts? And remember, the more content Zimwriter generates, the more credits you're going to use for your OpenAI API key. Zimwriter is a BYOK kind of tool, which means bring your own key. Zimwriter is the interface that helps you connect to OpenAI. Now, you could ideally go to the OpenAI playground and write all of these blog posts yourself, but the convenience that Zimwriter provides is having the ability to upload all of this to WordPress, having the ability for custom outlines, custom prompts, all that jazz that goes in writing a blog post. It is all programmed on the back end of Zimwriter, so we don't have to do the work. So I'm going to say, let's just do 7 H2s. And I'm also going to check this box which says use H2 as a suggestion. So AI will figure out what's the best number of H2s for these articles. I'm going to leave the section length to medium. And then here I like to talk in first person. So I'm going to change this to first person voice. I'm also going to enable literary devices. And then I'm also going to enable lists. I'm not going to enable tables at this point, but I am going to use nuke AI words. And this is something new that Zimwriter has, where some of the common words like dwell or some of the transition words that AI is used to using, we're going to try to send this command to OpenAI to remove any of those words that are very common and are telltale sign that is written by AI. I'm not going to enable mid-journey prompt. I'm also going to enable key takeaways. And if you enable H3, then there is a possibility that that H3 will also get inserted, but it's not a guarantee. So I'm going to say, yeah, let's go ahead and enable H3s. I'll leave it to short FAQ answers, and my audience personality, you can pick one here. I'm going to leave it to none. And again, my GPT model, I'm going to use 3.5 turbo instead of GPT-4 because I want to save on cost. This is just an experimental website, and I'm going to use auto style, but you could also say write in the style of a parent who's has kids with ADHD. I'm also going to enable keywords, which means that AI will automatically add SEO keywords that it thinks are relevant for this blog. For featured image, I'm going to use pexels. So you have to go set up your pexel API key, and then you can connect Zimwriter with your pexel account, and then your featured images can be generated using Pexel. For my subheadings, I'm going to say, give me a subheading image for every H2. So for my images model, I'm going to use Stable Diffusion Digital Art model. And this costs me about 0.003 cents per image. So if you get $25 worth of credits with Stable Diffusion and connect your Stable Diffusion account with Zimwriter, you'll get about 1500 images, which is plenty for running this bulk blog experiment. I'm also going to leave these things unchecked here, the next 4 boxes. Now here where it says WordPress disabled, I'm going to enable WordPress, and we're going to run into a problem here, but I'll show you how I'm going to solve for it. Once I select my website, Zimwriter is going to reach out to my WordPress blog, find out what categories and subcategories I have in WordPress, and automatically pull those in. And this is the problem that I'm going to run into. I cannot select a blog category for each and every one of these blogs. So all 583 are going to be put in to a single category, which is fine because for this use case, one, it's an experiment, and then second, I will have my virtual assistant go in and change those blog categories later once I see signs of life. So for now, I'm going to select understanding ADHD as the umbrella category for all the blog posts that are being added to my WordPress blog. And then I don't have any subcategory, so I'm going to leave that blank. And I want my article status to be published, so I'm going to leave it as published. And since we used our Emma author to connect to this blog, which was my user's name, that would be the author that will be used to publish these blog posts. Now here's something cool. Instead of publish, I could go schedule these blog posts, and I can say schedule 2 blog posts a day starting on X date, and then Zimwriter will automatically start scheduling those and getting it set up on your WordPress site, so you don't even have to do anything, and then it'll automatically publish 2 blog posts a day. So for now, we're going to leave this blank because we are running this experiment where I want to publish all of them in one go. So those settings are saved. Next one comes SERP scraping. Now the SERP scraping functionality is very powerful. You can read here what exactly it does, and there's lots of videos Matt has put on the Zimwriter YouTube channel. I'll link to that in the description as well. Super powerful functionality, so I always love using it. I'm going to say yes, enable SERP scraping. I like to delete the location and just leave the country in here. And I also like to overwrite SERP cache for matching titles. And those are the only 2 settings I play with. I don't do anything for these 3, so we're going to leave that blank. I don't have a custom outline or a custom prompt for these blog posts, so I'm going to leave those blank as well. I'm also going to leave YouTube videos disabled, but if you wanted to, you could enable YouTube videos and also insert them as an embed code, and you can add up to 3 YouTube videos per blog post. Now this will go and search for related keywords and try to add relevant YouTube videos to your blog. I'm not going to do that for this experiment. And then if you had a CSV file, you could also upload that right here. I'm going to not do that, but if you wanted to, you could just load up your CSV file, and there is a template here. You can follow that template, and also you can check out the YouTube training videos that Zimwriter has provided to see how this works. And then finally, if you are using a different language other than English, you could say that I want my output in a completely different language. This is experimental, so your mileage may vary. So these are my settings. I am all set to publish these 500 odd blog posts. I'm going to start the bulk writer. I'm going to wait a few minutes, and once that first or second blog post is published, we're going to come back and see what that looks like inside my WordPress site. Now before we do that, Zimwriter is going to give me this confirmation that, are you sure you want me to proceed with 583 blog posts? And I'm going to say yes, I confirm that I want to proceed. And Zimwriter is now going to let you know that, okay, I'm going to start writing. This is where all the output is going to be saved. So I'm going to say, okay, sounds good. And we are off to the races. So I'm going to pause this video, wait for a couple of blog posts to show up in my WordPress site, and then we'll come back and see what that looks like. All right, we are back. It took about 8-ish minutes to do 2 articles. So roughly about 4 minutes an article. And if we do the math, because I am not good at it at all, let's just round it up to 5 minutes. It's going to take about 2,915 minutes to write all 583 blog posts, which is about 48 hours. So I'm going to wait a couple of days, come back, and we'll make a follow-up video showing you all the blogs that are done. And then I might as well wait a few extra days or weeks or months and see if I get out of Google's sandbox and if this website can get any traffic. With that being said, let's take a look at what these blogs look like now that I have 2 already published. So first, let me get rid of these drafts. So we have our 2 published blog posts. You can see that the author is the correct author that it connected the blog with, and also the correct categories here. So now I'm going to go and view this blog and see what it looks like. So the featured image is from Pexels. That's the one I chose when using my Zimwriter settings, and this is where that Jolie table of contents comes in. It automatically inserts the table of contents before the first H2. So that's pretty cool. And then let's see what those images look like. So I had selected digital art using stable diffusion. So some of these images might be a hit or miss, but let's take a look. So right off the bat, I like this article format. I have the key takeaways. I haven't done any editing to this article. This is where my VA and my team of VAs are going to come in. They will do the article editing. They are reasonably priced. So if you're looking for a team, please let me know. But here's what it looks like. So I have my key takeaways automatically bulleted, and then we have our H2s, which has benefits of using ADHD worksheets, because the title is free ADHD worksheets for adults. Now, specific blog posts like these, I am not 100% sure I'm going to get good output from OpenAI, but let's take a look. So then you have types of ADHD worksheets. So it's telling you the different types, how to implement these worksheets, real life applications, and then additional resources for managing ADHD. And then we get into some FAQs and then also conclusion. Now, because these were specific to worksheets, I will likely go ahead and delete this blog post later. This is going to need some human writing to actually make it actionable on the different type of worksheets you can use for ADHD. Let's move on to the next one and see what that's about. Okay, this one might be a little bit better. Occupational therapy activities for autism, and again, featured image from Pexels, so that's good. And then we have our key takeaways. So here are some of the activities. You have sensory bin activity. And again, I might go and ask my VA to swap out some of these images that are not looking too good. Again, it's an illustration art, and I'm totally fine with that because that's the model I chose. All these images are going to have this similar look and feel, and I'm completely fine with that for this blog post. So then we have swing target practice. I like that image. We're going to leave it. Video clip for social skills. Not really sure what's going on here, but we'll still keep it. Role playing for social skills. And then we have another list element here. Play-Doh creation. I love that. Modeling interactions effectively. That didn't put an image because that might be an H3, not an H2. If we go back up here to our table of contents, yep, modeling was H3, and that's why there's no image in there. And then you can see that sometimes the text is even bolded, which is pretty cool. We have straw game practice, coping skills, flipbook exercises. I love this illustration here, although I'm not too sure what happened to the faces. Benefits of flipbook, steps for making it, importance in therapy, and then we have some frequently asked questions. So these are the two blog posts. I like the second one. I'm not a fan of the first one because that was very specific to worksheets. That's pretty much how the blog posting from Zimwriter to WordPress works. And there you have it, course heroes. That is how you can use a tool like Zimwriter to auto publish blog posts to your WordPress site. I will link to a blog post of mine that recently got over 1,000 clicks, and that blog was completely written by Zimwriter /OpenAI. And yeah, check that video out, and until next time, keep creating.